Dementia is a very powerful disease that seems to slowly erase Dementia is a powerful disease that slowly erases someone right in front of you. We were lucky that Baba's natural state was so childlike and that she continued to be a pleasure to be around. I find it a little easier to think about the disease's progression as her stepping or transitioning through a doorway or through gates very, very slowly, almost pausing in the doorway. As the person fades on this side, they become brighter and brighter on the other side. So for this reason, I'm grateful to know that she can be whole again in her resting place. I remember a priest once saying that if you were to pass during Bright Week, then you skip the queue and go straight to heaven. I think this is true, but even if it wasn't, I think Baba will have enough sweets or cookies shaped like fingers in her purse to grease the palms at the gates. Rest in peace, Baba. Vichnaya Pamyat.
My memories of my Baba began when I was just a few years old, visiting Baba and Dida in Montreal. She would take us and her grocery cart, which she jokingly referred to as Baba's Auto, to the market and to the candy store where she would buy us sweets. Baba not only gave sweets to her own grandchildren, but to our friends and other children as well. Growing up in our community at St. Elias, it felt like she was everybody's Baba. In fact, my friends would simply call her Baba, to which she would respond, all of Baba's children. In our church community, Baba Melnyk was famous not only for her gingerbread houses, which would raise funds for our canoe trips at the St. Nicholas concert fundraiser, but also for her happy and joyous demeanor. At our family weddings, she would always win the award for Best Dancer among stiff competition from much younger candidates. And on Palm Sunday, Baba couldn't wait for liturgy to end so that she could whack us over the shoulder with her pussy willows, complete with a rhyme, excited to exclaim that in 1 week, Velikdain. Baba was very health conscious, always reminding us to eat our vegetables and ensure that we had enough vitamins. I remember the time where she made chocolate-covered vitamins in an attempt to get us to eat even more nutrients. Because of her experience as a nurse in the Second World War and afterwards, she was constantly reminding us to wash our hands. At the outbreak of this pandemic, when we were told again and again to wash our hands, I couldn't help but think of her. I thought to myself, I am already a diligent hand washer because my Baba taught me so. Baba was a big believer in education and constantly reminded us of how important this is. She was proud of all the different subjects she was able to study in grade school and frequently rhymed them off: chemistry, biology, mathematics, geography. However, the opportunity for further education was taken from her because of the war. Because of this, I know that she was especially proud of all her children and grandchildren's educational and professional accomplishments. Every Easter, every Pascha, we would go to Baba's apartment in Etobicoke and she would teach us how to make pisanke. I learned traditional patterns, their meanings from books that she had, and pisanke that she had made herself many, many years ago. Why are there so many triangles? I would ask. Because God likes the number 3. God likes to do things in threes, like the Holy Trinity. Bog ljubit Troitse, she would say. I spoke Ukrainian with Baba, and I learned how to pray in Ukrainian with Baba every night before she tucked us in to go to sleep. I learned the importance of celebrating one's culture and faith by preserving and passing on one's language. But out of everything I learned from my Baba, the most important lesson I learned from observing her constant, joyful demeanor. In a message of condolence, a family friend recalled, "I don't think I ever saw your Baba without a smile on her face." And come to think of it, I don't think I have ever seen my Baba without a smile on her face either. Baba Melnyk overcame extraordinary hardship early in her life, unthinkable when compared to my own life. Yet despite this, she was always smiling, laughing, joking, rhyming, singing, and dancing everywhere that she went. Baba also faced hardship at the end of her life, contending with a very difficult disease, Alzheimer's and dementia. But even as her memory and awareness faded, Baba was still joking, still smiling, still laughing, and still rhyming, not just with her family, but with everyone, including all of the staff at her care home, Dom Lipa. On Friday, Chocha Liza and I witnessed many staff who rushed to Baba's room to pay their respects as soon as they heard the news that she had passed away. They remembered her as such an easygoing and pleasant patient to care for, never complaining, always positive, always upbeat. This I will remember forever, that no matter how tough life can be, at any moment in one's life, the best way to approach it is to approach it like Baba. Move forwards, as Baba would often say. Continue to live, and live joyously. Baba, I love you very much, and will remember you forever. Vichnaya Pamyat.
This is a little long, but she was 95 years old. As I became an adult, I began to realize that very few people are fortunate enough to have known their grandparents as well as we have, let alone have them in their lives for as long as we had our Baba. There's no doubt in my mind that her 95 years here on earth were lived to the fullest and impacted all that she met along her way. When thinking about what to say, the strongest memories of her were ones that displayed her playful nature and stubborn persistence. I can't help but recall pushing the limits of my adolescence rebellion with Baba when a friend of mine, Sonia, came over to sleepover while our parents attended Melnyk. Baba was left in charge and quickly tried to enforce a strict bedtime, and we played music and the television when we thought the coast was clear, only to be surprised time and again how quickly and quietly Baba could tiptoe down the stairs into the basement and shake her fist at us for not sleeping. She was a master of reconnaissance. As a child, I can recall her idea of play was to sit down and quiz me on my multiplication tables. It was a hard ask to oblige to when the weather was warm and my cousins were playing outside. We eventually hit our stride when instead she gifted me a red journal and informed me she would pay me 10 cents for every book I read and logged. And although I should have paid more attention to those multiplication tables in the long run, in her own way, Baba turned me into an avid reader and lover of stories. I needed to in order to make a buck. She was a master of discipline. I, along with my sister and cousins, came to love the consistency and predictability of a Saturday morning lunch at Baba's, or brunch, as she used to call them, Baba's McDonald's. A complete meal of roasted chickens, potatoes, and salata, followed by a deep and delicious chocolate cake. We all ate the same meal week after week at Bob and Dito's, on Bob and Dito's thick plastic tablecloth, without fail, and then promptly relaxed with a game of Jenga on the floor while the lobby channel played in the background. Her often too warm apartment was filled with diffused light, cacti tall enough to reach the ceiling, countless puzzles and crafts, and 5 very full and happy grandchildren. My sister and I got to know Baba even more intimately when she came to live with us in 2004. I was 16 years old, and had to quickly get used to my 79-year-old's new roommate. I remember being mildly annoyed every time she would tell me to tie my hair back up out of my face, with her constant reminders to wear my slippers. She would say. It took a while to realize her voiced concerns were reminders that she cared about my well-being, and slowly but surely, Baba morphed into my biggest confidant and closest friend. I would often find myself going into her room to vent and to listen to words of encouragement at life's biggest trials. She was a master at motivating. I would put on my slippers to stop her nagging, push my hair out of my face, and face my challenges and adversities with a new sense of confidence, because she simply didn't accept anything else. Her particular nature resulted in countless funny stories, like the time she ironed my favorite kayaking training shirt for a little too long, resulting in a permanent iron mark across its back. I got countless comments of, "Hey Marta, you know those shirts aren't meant to be ironed, you know," every time I wore it. But it made me smile each time thinking about how surprised Baba must have been when she realized her mistake, and how she tried to hide it from me by folding it and putting it into my closet as soon as possible. She was a source of comfort, even as she would quietly and routinely make her way from her room to mine each night to check if I was still sleeping and in my bed. I would wave to her, assuring that I was, and watch her slowly slink back into her room, leaving both our doors ajar, just in case. It became apparent to me how far Baba's reach extended based on the amount of friends and acquaintances who shared their confidence, condolences, and memories of Baba, as well as their appreciation for her Instagram handle, created and managed by my sister Katerina. I got many messages from friends who shared that at one point or another, Baba sang them that Ukrainian song, you know, that Tra-la-la one. Baba was funny and warm, strong in her convictions and belief, with an abundance of personality. She became my favorite subject to paint quite quickly, so much doing so that my partner Darcy had to promptly limit the amount of Baba portraits I was allowed to hang on our wall at home. It took me years later to realize that her attempts to make me proficient in math, coupled with her push to find enjoyment in the written word, were her ways to promote the most important sense of values, education and curiosity. In her own way, she continuously highlighted the importance of ongoing discovery and the need for developing reliance and self-resiliency in the process. And looking back, she was smarter and more tenacious than I ever gave her credit for. Without her, I most certainly would have not passed Ukrainian school, as I placed a routine panicked Friday night call to her to help her with my Melnyk in lieu of Ukrainian Saturday school the next morning. Without her, I never would have witnessed someone else testing my parents' patience to its maximum, like the time they came home to find Baba had let in a couple of Jehovah's Witnesses into the house and was feeding them lunch in the living room just because they seemed nice and friendly at the door. Without her, I would have not laughed as hard as I did when she would come home with an abundance of pears that she carried in her skirt like this and declared, "What, the neighbors gave them to me," when asked, when actually the neighbors simply had a pear tree that hung over the park fence. Without her, I wouldn't have been able to find my inner strength at times, for it was her encouraging voice to tell me to put smila, to be strong. Without her, many of us sitting here would not have the same Melnyk nose, including my son Leo. And I will think of her often when I blow it, perhaps even with the Kleenex that I may keep tucked in my sleeve. I will miss the way she said Tyler Noyle and Bungala, and the way dancing with her would often lead to playful punches and unexpected kicks in the shin. The way Lesya Ukrainka had nothing on her on-the-spot rhymes and poems. I will miss her, especially along scribbles in various birthday and holiday cards, blessing us all in the way that she would mend everything and anything, including my intentionally ripped jeans and tights. Baba gave us a lifetime of memories and countless tokens of her legacy, and she stood as a steady pillar of unwavering love and pride. And I am ever so grateful for all the time we shared together. Wieczna jej pamięć.
Thank you for sharing those precious memories of a remarkable woman. I'm not sure how long the camera was on, but I suspect it probably didn't catch everything. So I just want to encourage you, those of you that have family that were watching today, if you wanted to share and forward those lovely tributes to her to them so they can hear about her from your perspective, that would be precious. The closing ritual involves poslednie cilowania, and we invite you to come forward, starting with the extended family. You're all here family, but if the daughters would remain to come up at the very end to say farewell and to place the chustka, and please stand and make your way down the side aisles and say your final farewell. From here we will continue our journey to the cemetery.
Прийдіть,
Браття, останнє цілування даймо померлі,
дякуючи Богові, вона бо відійшла від рідні своєї до гробу спішить, же не журиться про суєту світу і про многострасне тіло, де нині рідня і друзі, Господь розлучаємось, щоб її упокоїти, Господу помолімся. Oh, tell us now, dear sister, where are you going in silence without a word? Return to us, wipe away the tears of your family and friends. See how they weep for you. Where now are the loved ones and those dear to you? Behold, the time has come to part. Truly all human endeavor is vanity. Я до Господа Бога судімого іду, щоб станути на судищі і дати одвід за діла мої. Отож вас благаю, моліться за мене, щоб спас милостивий будь для мене в день судний. Господь розлучаємося, поістину суєта все Бачачи мене, як лежу безгласна і без дихання, заплачте по мені, браття і друзі, рідні і знайомі. По вчорашнього дня розмовляла я з вами, Та несподівано найшла на мене страшна година смертна. Прийдіть же всі, що любите мене, і цілуйте мене останнім цілуванням. Бо вже більше з вами не буду ходити, ані розмовляти, бо до студії відходжу, де немає сприяння. Бо раб і владика разом предстоять, цар і воїн багатий, і боги в рівнім достоїнстві. Бо кожен за свої вчинки прославиться або постидається. Прошу з усіх і благаю, моліться безперестанно за мене Христу Богові, щоб за гріхи мої я не була зведена на місце муки, але щоб оселив мене там, де є світло життя. Слава Отцю і Сину, і слава Духу, нині присно, і во віки віков. Амінь. Save those who place their trust in you, O Mother of the sun that has no setting. O you who bore God, we beseech you. By your prayers entreat the all-merciful God, that he might grant rest to the one who has been taken from us with the spirits of the just, making her an heir of divine good things in the place of the righteous, in eternal
Господу помолімся. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift of Nadia's life, for her motherhood, for her love, for her joy, especially for her deep sense of faith. Lord, as we all share this journey in this world together, we recognize that none of us are innocent before you. We are all sinful people. We simply pray, Lord, forgive her all of her sins, voluntary or involuntary, over all the days of her life. Receive her into your kingdom. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, now, always, and forever, and ever. Слава тобі, Христе Боже, надія наша, слава тобі.
І нині, повсякчас, і на віки віків. Амінь. Господи, помилуй, Господи, помилуй, Господи, помилуй.
Христос, істинний Бог наш, що живими і мертвими, володіє молитвами пречистої своєї Матері, святих славних і всехвальних апостолів, преподобних і богоносних отців наших і душу, переставленої слугині Божої, надії, які днесь похорон творимо в оселях праведних оселить, на лоні Аврааму покоїть, до праведних причислить, і нас помилує і спасе, як благий і чоловіколюбець. Господь нехай благословить вас, Надію, і збереже вас. Нехай обличчя Боже сяє над вами, нехай Господь буде ласкавим до вас, нехай зверне своє обличчя до вас і дарує вам глибокий спокій. Нехай Його милість буде над вами по 1000 поколінь, і над вашою родиною, і над вашими дітьми, і над їх дітьми. Нехай Його присутність іде перед вами, і позаду вас, і поруч вас. Нехай Божа присутність буде навколо вас і внутрі у вас. Він з вами, Бог є з вами. У блаженнім успенні вічний упокій подай, Господи, преснопам'ятній слугині Божій Надії, які днес похорон творимо, і сотвори її вічною пам'ять. Вічна вечная пам'ять. Со святим, Господь, благослови тебе, сестру, в ім'я Отця і Сина і Святого Духа. Амінь. Вечная пам'ять. Ти, Божа, святий, кріпкий, святий, straight out. Ти святий, безсмертний, помилуй нас. Безсмертний, святий, помилуй нас. God, holy, mighty, and immortal, holy and immortal, have mercy on us. Yati basma